Hello viewer, this is a tutorial designed to help you know the orthography and alphabet of Tula language. It will help you learn how to read and write in Tula language. So sit back, watch and listen as I take you through. Consonants. In articulatory phonetics, a consonant is a speech sound that is articulated with either complete or partial closure of the vocal tract. Example, we can see a P there in parentheses, which is pronounced as a consonant with the lip, and then we have T in the parentheses, also pronounced with the front of the tongue. We have K, which is also pronounced with the back of the tongue, and we have F and S, pronounced by forcing air in a narrow channel. So consonants must be connected to a vowel to form a syllable. And like we said, when pronouncing it, you have either a partial or complete closure of the vocal tract. The consonants. Like we said at the beginning, we have 14 consonants. So you can see them here, but there's one which is colored green. This consonant that is colored green is also a new consonant that we also have. Now we're going to take these consonants one by one with examples and also learn how to make pronunciation of these consonants. But before we go, now let's go through them to get the pronunciation of this consonant. And like we said earlier, you don't have a complete call of it because you have either a partial or complete closure of the air tract. Now the first consonant there is pronounced B. It is pronounced B. The next one is pronounced Ch. It is pronounced Ch. And the one that follows is pronounced D. It is pronounced D. And the next one is pronounced F. It is pronounced F. And the one that follows is pronounced K. It is pronounced K. Then the next one that follows is pronounced L. It is pronounced L. And the one that follows is pronounced M. It is pronounced M. Then the following one is pronounced N. It is pronounced N. And that one in colored, the letter N and G is pronounced Ng. It is pronounced Ng. The one that follows is pronounced R. It is pronounced R. Then the one that follows is pronounced S. It is pronounced S. Then the one that follows is pronounced T. It is pronounced T. And the one that follows it is pronounced W. It is pronounced W. Then the last one is pronounced Y. It is pronounced Y. So with this, you don't have a complete call of it until you join it with another vowel in a word, then you have a complete pronunciation of it. So let's take some examples. Like we said, the first vowel is pronounced B. It is pronounced B. And like we said, you pronounce it by bringing the two lips together while you push out air from your mouth. And the example there we have is Beure. It is pronounced Beure, which means finger in English, Yata in Hausa. Then the next one is pronounced Ch. It is pronounced Ch. So you pronounce this by bringing the two front teeth, the upper and the down one together, while you also force out air from your mouth. The example there we have is Chaptu. Chaptu, which means food in English, Abinchi in Hausa. Then the next one is pronounced D. It is pronounced D. You raise the front of your tongue to touch the front roof of your mouth. So the example there we have is Dur. Dur, which means head in English, Kai in Hausa. Then the next consonant there we have is F. It is pronounced F. So you bring the lower lip of your mouth to block with the upper teeth, upper front teeth of your mouth. So the example there we have is Far. It is pronounced Far, which means egg in English, Kwai in Hausa. Then the next one that follows is pronounced K. It is pronounced K. So this one you open your mouth while you squeeze the vocal tract as the air comes out from your mouth. So the example we have there is Kwami. It is pronounced Kwami, which means sheep in English, Tinkia in Hausa. Then the next vowel is pronounced L. It is pronounced L. So this one, you also raise the tip of the tongue to touch the front roof of your mouth. So the example we have there is luke. It is pronounced luke, which means shirt in English, riga in Hausa. Then another one there we have is It is pronounced So this one, you also bring the two lips together while you force air through the nose. So the example we have there is mwe. It is pronounced mwe, which means water in English, ruwa in Hausa. Now the next vowel there is pronounced It is pronounced You also raise the tip of the tongue to touch the front roof of the mouth. So the example we have there is nakam. It is pronounced nakam, which means elephant in English, giwa in Hausa. And another one there is r. It is pronounced r. So you bring the tip of the tongue, not really touching the roof of the mouth, and as you force air out of the mouth, the front of the tongue do vibrate and it forms this sound. So the example there we have is rie. It is pronounced rie, which means suffering in English, wahala in Hausa. Then the next one is s. It is pronounced s. So this one, you also bring the front teeth not really clocking together. As you raise the tongue up, then the air is forced out of the mouth. So the example we have there is sele. It is pronounced sele, which means elder in English, detijo in Hausa. Then the next one is pronounced t. It is pronounced t. So the front tongue coming together with the upper front teeth while air is being forced out of the mouth. So the example we have there is turum. It is pronounced turum, which means lion in English, zaki in Hausa. Then the second to the last one there we have is w. It is pronounced w. Now this one, you open the mouth and allow air to just come out from the mouth. And the example we have there is wangle. Wangle, which means bell in English, kararawa in Hausa. Then the last example there is y. It is pronounced y. The example we have there is yir. Yir, which means yam in English, doya in Hausa. The other diphthong, which we have not taken example of it, is this N and G coming together. Among the 14 consonants, the only new sound is this NG in parentheses. The real symbol of the consonant is this symbol you are seeing colored red. But for the sake of easy writing and printing, this N and G was selected to be used. It is not two different consonants, N and G, but the two are standing for one consonant. So now let's take the consonant and learn how to pronounce it very well. Now, this new consonant NG, like we said, is standing for one consonant, and it is pronounced ng. It is pronounced ng. Like we said, you raise the back of your tongue to touch the back roof of your mouth while air is being forced out of your mouth. So the example we have there is bang bang. Bang bang. So, which means saw in English, tsami in Hausa. We're going to take this word bang bang and do word drill on it so that we'll get the right pronunciation of this consonant ng. Now let's break the word into two syllables. This bang bang we are breaking into two syllables as bang and bang. So we'll take this first bang to also break it. So let's break this first syllable into two. The bang, we are breaking it into ba, then So from this word bang, when you break it into two, we have ba, then we have So this is So this is the consonant and it is pronounced It is pronounced There are consonants that sound similar in pronouncing a word, but for the sake of uniformity in writing, the ones that are often used were selected. For instance, we have this k and g, k and g. Sometimes, while pronouncing a word, you hear like k sound or g sound. So whichever one you hear, the word pronunciation is correct. But for the sake of uniformity in writing, like we said, this one k sound was selected. So anywhere it sounds like when you speak or while you are talking and you feel a sound that sounds like g sound. So when it comes to writing, you are using this sound k. You are using this sound k. So this sound k is to be written. Now let's take the examples. Now, with these two sounds, the first sound, this first consonant sound, k. So we have an example there, nuke. Nuke, which means grandmother in English, kaka tamoche in Hausa. And sometimes some people pronounce it as nuge, which comes with this sound g, the same grandmother and kaka tamoche. We have another example there, bakasi. Bakasi, which means baboon or gogombri. And sometimes some people do pronounce it as bagasi. They pronounce it as bagasi. So, like we said, these sounds that sound similar, the one that we are using is this k sound. This k sound is selected. We also have another one that sounds similar, which is the consonant ch and the consonant sh. So now, for the first consonant ch, we have an example chir, which means go out or fita in Hausa. And sometimes people do pronounce it as shir. Shir, which means the same go out or fita in Hausa. So now, for this uniformity and this very one that we often use is this one ch. So this ch was selected. So anywhere you speak and you feel a sound like sh, so when you are writing or reading, this is the one you'll be seeing ch as our consonant. So another one that sounds similar is this consonant s and the other consonant z. So this consonant, we have an example, bakasi, which is same baboon or gogombri in Hausa. And some people do pronounce it as bakazi. Bakazi. So wherever you hear a sound that sounds like this, which is somehow similar, so the one that we often use is the one that was selected, which is s sound, and is one that forms our consonant. So among these three consonants that sound similar with other consonants, the ones that are colored red are the ones that were selected and we are using in our orthography and in our alphabet. While the ones that are colored green, we don't use it, so we don't have it in our consonant.